So yesterday's announcement of the 2026 roadmap for Battlefield 6 was a very good one. I'm seeing a lot more general positivity around the game at the moment, with everyone knowing that our feedback was, for the most part, heard loud and clear by the teams working on this game. And for all of you in the comments who told me to stop being so negative about the game all the time, it was never negativity. It was just feedback. I wanted to see Battlefield 6 become better, and it looks like the team at Battlefield Studios were taking all that feedback from myself, other creators, community leaders, players on board. But actually, as it transpired, since yesterday's announcement, we've been able to learn even more about what the team is planning to deliver. Some secret hidden information, if you will. In today's video, I'm going to bring together a bunch of information that so far I haven't seen too many people pick up on, some stuff more obvious than others, but let's dive straight on in. Drop a like on the video if you're excited for the future of Battlefield 6, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well. Full coverage of Season 3 and beyond will be happening right here. Okay, first up, something that I think is going to really excite vehicle fans, and something that links into a wider issue that Battlefield 6 so far hasn't addressed, but appears to be doing so: jets and loadouts for them. Right at the end of the roadmap video that was released yesterday, Ryan MacArthur mentions that even more stuff is what they wanted to reveal, but some secrets needed to remain for the time being. And at that moment on the screen, the video flipped onto some of the team working on upcoming content, featuring the model of a jet. And that jet happened to be the FA-18 Hornet. Now, you can see here in this freeze frame, the developer moves over the reference images that he's using on screen, and the name is literally written right there, clear as day. Right now in Battlefield 6, we only have extremely limited jet functionality, with just 2 options for players, one for NATO and one for Pax Armata, and those jets come with fixed loadouts. There's absolutely zero flexibility when it comes to weaponry and protections and countermeasures, which makes jet combat extremely shallow and bland in Battlefield 6 right now. My good friend Silk has been the biggest champion of feedback for jets, and ever since the game first showcased the combat on Liberation Peak during the open beta, it became immediately obvious that the gameplay implementation of jets was severely lacking. Now, from my point of view here, I see no reason why the team, if they're working on adding new jets into the game, as is the case here with the Hornet, why they wouldn't also be working on jet loadouts as well. And that's not even mentioning that the game doesn't have a proper functioning air radar at the moment either, which I think is an absolutely essential addition if the team is going to start expanding the roster of air vehicles in Battlefield 6. We've already seen the addition of the Little Bird Chopper without significant improvements to air vehicle balance, air radar, and jet loadouts. So here's hoping this first secret piece of content is not only new jets for Battlefield 6, likely coming with the naval warfare maps in Season 4, based on the images that we can see here on the screen, but also supporting gameplay functionality like loadouts for jets and a functioning air radar. Next up, we've now got some further details on how the upcoming server browser for Battlefield 6 is going to work. Yesterday, the team revealed that a fully fledged server browser would be arriving in 2026 alongside persistent servers, meaning that players could create their own servers with their own rules, their own map rotations, keep that server running 24/7, and start to form a location for like-minded players that they can meet up and experience a game in the way they wanted to. We didn't get to see this server browser in practice, however, and the announcement didn't come with much information besides, "We hear you, we're making a server browser." Well, last night on Reddit, David Serland, lead producer on Battlefield at DICE, responded to questions on Reddit regarding this server browser. Reddit user SushiEater343 said, quote, "We need to know how the server browser is being implemented. If it doesn't support official servers, then it's pointless," end quote. Serland responded simply saying, quote, "It's proper," end quote, essentially confirming that the upcoming Battlefield 6 server browser will indeed play host to the official Battlefield 6 servers. This is an important point because the official servers will, at the moment, be more popular during the game's life cycle than ones created by the community, because those servers, at least in past Battlefield titles, were also populated via matchmaking. This meant that you could hop into the server browser, you could find a mostly full official server on the map and mode that you wanted to play, and just jump right in. David replied to another user, Leone Class, I think that's how you say it, who asked, quote, "When will all servers be visible in the server browser? Without that, we don't have a proper server browser," end quote. And this comment comes from a thread that started nearly 2 months ago. David said, quote, "See today's news, it's the proper one," end quote. Knowing that Battlefield 6 is going to implement the kind of server browser that players actually want, rather than settling for a version like the current Portal one, which players always knew was never going to be the tool they wanted, is great for the game moving forwards. A server browser that lists official and community-run servers means players can hop into matches whenever they like, and they can remain in that server for hours on end, because as revealed yesterday, persistent servers are arriving too. This means you won't have to go through the matchmaking process after every round finishes like you currently do in Battlefield 6. Sticking with David Sirland for our next bit of hidden info, we're going to expand on one of the lesser highlighted elements of yesterday's roadmap, the ongoing commitment to combat tuning. This was listed as part of the quality of life improvements the game is going to receive moving forwards. Most of you will be aware of the difficulties that Battlefield 6 has had in implementing a solid gunplay system since launch, with all of the issues around weapon bloom or spread, and now, with those issues seemingly fixed, we have a set of weapons that all feel extremely beamy with little to no recoil to really differentiate them and balance them effectively. This is something that Battlefield Studios have said they're actively working on. They mentioned that in a blog post a couple of weeks ago, but we've now heard it directly from the horse's mouth. In response to a message from Kokoska998 on Reddit regarding Battlefield 6's current TTK being far too fast and bullet velocity negatively impacting gameplay, David Sirland replied that wider TTK changes, recoil updates, and bullet velocity changes are on the table for future potential labs topics. He said they're also looking at all parts of the combat experience, but that these elements will be looked at as well. In a reply to another Reddit user, Bleeding Uranium, who stated that they like the underlying gunplay of Battlefield 6, but that other elements like limb damage multipliers, spread, and recoil should be used to improve it instead, David said, quote, "We agree in essence, but when TTK is the fastest, it's too fast for average reaction times. As in, that plus latency means no way you can react. That part we'd like to fix without messing with the bulk or the general feeling. Labs testing of these things are ongoing. Things like you mentioned, limb multis, etc. are part of that, more to come. Register if you haven't already, bigger waves of access will come as we keep these efforts up," end quote. Now, as somebody who also fundamentally enjoys the gunplay experience of Battlefield 6, but can clearly see it lacks depth at the moment, this makes for encouraging reading. What we're lacking here is defined information and direction in where the team is looking to take things. David mentions that limb multipliers are on the table for labs testing and further stuff will be detailed, but it remains to be seen how forceful or how light-handed these changes are going to be. I don't think anyone wants to see another TTK debacle like we did during the Battlefield 5 days, where DICE essentially destroyed the gunplay system of the game in one swooping update, upsetting basically every player of the game. Labs has already produced some solid changes to the gameplay in Battlefield 6. The recent updates to defibs, they were really good, as well as work being done to Golmud Railway to get it ready for Season 3. So here's hoping the team takes the time to properly evaluate any changes to gunplay before pushing them live in the main game. There's so much positivity buzzing around Battlefield 6 right now, it'd be a real shame if they burned that with changes that people don't like. Picking out some stuff from the footage from yesterday's video again now, we've got two interesting elements to look at for the Season 4 naval warfare maps, Tsuru Reef and Wake Island. Now, honestly, I think I'm more excited for Tsuru Reef purely because it's a brand new map. But something that I somewhat skipped over the other day was the hotel part of the map over here on the right-hand side. Does that look familiar to you? Well, it didn't immediately jump out to me the other day, but some of you pointed out in the comments of my video yesterday that this looks an awful lot like the hotel on the Hainan Resort map in Battlefield 4. Here's a picture of that map in Battlefield 4, and you can even see the slightly angled sort of diagonal left and right wings of the hotel shown in the Battlefield 6 concept art. You might remember that both of these sides of the hotel could be destroyed in Battlefield 4. It was a big part of the Levolution destruction system, and obviously Battlefield 6 has put a lot of effort into making destruction a big part of the gameplay loop as well, so here's hoping we're going to be able to smash this thing apart. And then flipping over to Wake Island, I did mention this in my video yesterday, but I'm going to highlight it here again because something's changed a little bit. I wasn't quite right in what I said yesterday. In the video footage here, you can see gameplay and a map overview of the atoll, and you can quite clearly see there's something new in the middle of the lagoon. It's actually like a new capture point. I thought it was an island, but I was wrong. It's actually a crashed container ship. This tiny clip here shows a transport chopper flying over the atoll, and we get a really clear look at this new capture point. And you can see the bow of the ship is kind of like sticking up into the air. Most of the deck appears to be flooded, and there are several containers sort of floating off and around the wrecked ship. I think this point has actually been crafted as a real pivot point for the map, adding a 7th capture point that will keep reinforcements ticking down for whichever team is losing, because you can never be drawing with an odd number of capture points. And it looks like there may even be a zip line that connects the wrecked ship back to the atoll itself. This dark line here, it doesn't shift in the frame at all during the trailer, so it's kind of in a fixed position. Really signifying to me that this is a capture point that's designed to support infantry gameplay with air and water vehicles circling around it. This isn't something we've seen on other versions of Wake Island in the past, and it's likely going to change up the gameplay significantly and may well have been implemented to better support that infantry gameplay, a little bit like the updates to Golmud Railway. And in this clip here, actually, you can also see like there's a spit of sand that comes out from the atoll and leads up to the sunken ship now as well. And the infantry looks like they're going to be able to walk across that spit over to the ship without needing naval crafts or a drop-off with a chopper. And don't forget as well, Battlefield 6 is going to be adding attack boats back with both of these naval warfare maps too. Footage of those being made can be clearly seen in the update video yesterday. And lastly for today, let's do some good old speculation about the location of Season 5's maps. We got absolutely zero concrete hard info about this yesterday, other than that the teaser was giving us a clue, if we can work it out. Yesterday, I said I thought it could have been New York, Times Square, with the bright lights being reflected in the puddle on the ground. But actually, the more you look at it, the more you see the iconic Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas sign. If you flip the image upside down, and then here's the sign right next to it, you can definitely see the blurred outlines of the individual welcome letters at the top, and then the red star above it. I think the image is too close. I think Season 5 could be set in Las Vegas. Imagine rolling down the strip in an Abrams tank and just smashing everything up in sight. You've got the Sphere in the background, all the iconic hotels and buildings. That could be an all-time Battlefield map location right there. Some people have speculated that these bright lights could mean the return of Dawnbreaker from Battlefield 4, another iconic urban battleground that supported ground and air vehicles, including jets, but I am hedging my bets on Las Vegas for now. 3 maps have been confirmed for Season 5, don't forget. It's the only season so far to have confirmed to be going beyond 2 maps. But once again, if there's any devs or decision makers out there who happen to be listening, please make 3 maps per season the normal. I think it's pretty obvious now the next Battlefield game is going to be coming in late 2027, so if we could have Seasons 5, 6, 7, and 8, all with 3 maps each for multiplayer, I think that would be a great way to lead into the next title. There's likely going to be more detailed information coming out for Battlefield 6 Season 3 in the near future. Watch out for that. It's only a few weeks away, that new season. And thankfully, I've chosen to go on a 3-week holiday right before the launch of Season 3. And I'm landing back in the UK, I think, the day before the season launches. Timing couldn't have been any better. So if you don't see too many more videos from me over the next few weeks, you know why. I'm in Florida playing golf and going to Disney parks. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I appreciate you. Catch you soon.